Hey, Yaz,
Hey, Curtis.
what movie we watching this week?
To sum up Oxymoronic Titles Month
Mm-hmm.
and to cap off episode 100,
100!
we are watching a movie marriage of King Kong
Okay.
plus We Bought a Zoo
Mm-hmm.
plus Dr. Pimple Popper
Yep. Checks out,
with Shaun of the Dead
of course.
and a whole lot of Looney Tunes.
I love it.
This week, we are watching Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. I think that was the perfect reaction to Dr. Pimple
Yep.
Popper.
Ew.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah, it works. Thank you, Nora.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, that weekly podcast where we take a monthly theme, like I mentioned this month, oxymoronic titles, and we just play around. And man, have we been looking forward to this episode.
Oh, we've been looking forward to this one for weeks.
And honestly, not just because it's episode 100. Actually, we shuffled the calendar around because the amount of excitement for this movie, we needed to move it onto episode 100. Like,
Yes,
it was
yeah.
like, I think it was like the first or second episode of the month. And we're like, oh no, we got to move that one back. That's got to be there.
We're gonna hit episode 100 with one of our favorites out.
Oh, this movie. And this movie is ridiculous.
It is bonkers, just
And
bonkers.
it is so awesome. Like it's obviously way better than Story of Ricky, but it definitely, you would find it in the same section at your
Yes.
grocery store.
Yeah, yeah, at your local Aldi.
Yeah. This would definitely be in the Story of Ricky, Battlefield Baseball versus Tokyo Gore Police. Like, it would be
Yep.
right up there. It's just, there's blood. Oh, that's gross. And then it's just like, oh, okay, it's game on. Like,
Yeah.
but so
And now
creative.
someone is literally spitting their feet wheels in blood on a parquet
Literally
floor.
doing that. And so we are talking about Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, and known everywhere else in the world as football.
Yep.
As Braindead. But we Americans can't leave well enough alone. So
Nope. We changed it to Dead Alive, and it fits our theme. So
it does fit our theme. So thank you. Braindead didn't fit. So thank you,
Nope.
1992 Film Import Board, for that's not going to fly in our states. So
That's not America to do.
before we do get rolling into the festivities of episode 100, we do want to give a shout out, a very heartwarming and
Yes.
appreciative shout out to Patreon subscribers Don S., Aaron A., and Mandy K. All three of you have been with us for a very long time. Many episodes, dozens of episodes.
Yeah.
And we thank you for that.
Yep. Don S. has been in my life just as long as Aaron A.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
It is true. Yes. In one way or another.
Yep. Omnipresent, Don S.
So technically, he has been alive longer than Aaron A. So
Correct.
therefore, he
Correct.
has been in your world longer than Aaron A.
Yes. Well, I mean, he was in the Tri-City area.
That's
of,
true.
You know,
That is
Grant,
true. Yeah.
Grant Park, Beecher, and Peatone.
The Tri-City.
The Tri-City area.
Yeah, like Western Illinois, Iowa, they've got the Quad Cities taken
Yes.
care of. But that far south Chicagoland area, you guys definitely have the Tri-Cities locked up.
Yep.
Total
Peatone,
population
Beecher, and
of, like,
Grant Park.
4,000.
Yep. The Bermuda Triangle.
It's true. I'm happy that you both got out though. But no, thank you, Don S., Aaron A., and Mandy K. for your patronage. Episode 100, man.
I know, 100. Who would have thought? The little show that couldn't did.
Right? We're still the show that doesn't, but
No, we never do.
But right, but don't doubt us, because we might someday.
Yes, one of these days we'll make it big, Oz. We're making it a big city.
That's right. But we're glad that we've hit triple digits. It's just one more key for me to hit when I'm posting our podcast. But we hope you are joining us, and we hope you appreciate it, because it's going to be nothing but swearing and
Yep.
profanity and just I
Yep.
don't know how many times I've had to talk you off the ledge of just super sexist comments in our first 99 episodes.
I mean, if it's not misogynistic, why say it?
Right. I mean, we try to get the message across in as many movies that we watch, and we've just been setting you guys up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so racist and so misogynistic and so sexist. Just wait. Like,
Yeah. You just wait. If you're a fan of all those things,
yeah.
probably don't watch this one. But
yeah, right. But,
we're completely
moving
rebranding
forward,
Oz.
You're going to wonder, when did Andrew Dice Clay get cloned, and when did he get a podcast with himself? That's
Yeah.
what's going to be like for us.
Oh,
It's the Dice Man.
hickory dickory dock.
So, episode 100. I've got the plot this week, and you've got the characters. So, introduce us to our cast.
Let's sink our teeth into episode 100, Oz. The characters for 92's Dead Alive. First of all, again, written and directed by the one and only Peter Jackson, Kiwi himself. Went on to do such big name Hollywood movies like as The Frighteners, and I think that was about it.
Yeah, he did that puppet movie,
Yeah.
Meet the Feebles. He did that Alien comes like the Alien Soylent Green type movie.
Yep.
Or what was the name of that one? Bad Taste. But yeah, that's
Bad
about
Taste,
it.
yes.
Like the Frighteners
That was it.
really topped out there.
Lord of the something or others.
Yeah. Did he ever make another movie in New Zealand?
I don't know. I don't think, not in New Zealand, no. Cambodia, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Crimson something was what you're thinking of. That's the movie.
Crimson Tide. That's what it was.
That's right.
Crimson Tide. Directed by Peter
Tide.
Jackson.
Big Alabama fan.
Roll Tide, yep. Bama. We have our two lead characters. We have Lionel Cosgrove, played by Timothy Balme. I don't know. Fun performance.
Tim.
Played by Tim. Just Tim.
It's Tim.
And Paquita Maria Sanchez, played by Diana Penelver. Paquita. Penelver. We have the matriarch of the Cosgrove household, Vera Cosgrove, played by Peter Jackson's staple Elizabeth Moody.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, and also Zombie Vera, played by Elizabeth Brimmelcombe.
That's just her pet name. It's still her.
Yeah, it's same act. Yeah,
it's wanted to be paid twice on this movie, so she's got two sets.
Yep. We have Uncle Les, played by Ian Watkin.
Yeah.
Nurse McTavish, played by Brenda Kendall. Father Magruder. Father Magruder, played by Stuart Devine. Zombie Magruder, played by Stephen Passa.
I don't think I ever noticed that it was a different actor. I really didn't. I assumed the zombie father was the same.
I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Nice makeup job.
Yeah, we have Void, played by Jed Brophy, another Peter Jackson staple, who basically played...
Yeah, go
ahead.
I would say, who does Murray Keane play?
He plays, let's see, how should I... I think it's Shrat.
Yeah.
Is how you pronounce that?
Socrates, I think.
Socrates.
Yeah.
Scrotrates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tonight. I was way off.
Swammy.
Swanson.
Jed Brophy, who played basically every orc in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yes.
And then we have Nora and Albert Matheson, played by Glennis Levistrom and Lewis Rowe. And that's it.
Again, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of other little guys. Yeah. And then they're there.
We have Rita.
Peter Jackson's in the movie.
Yeah, Peter Jackson is in it.
Undertaker's assistant, but there you go.
Fun role, but again, he didn't take an arrow in this one like he did in Return of the Kings.
Yeah. Nor did he have his scalp partially removed and have to hold his brain in with a belt like he did in Bad Taste.
Yep, that's right. Oh, it's probably been 20 years. It's probably since you and I lived together that I watched Bad Taste.
Yeah. That's probably the last time I seen it too. But it's there.
Well, Hey, Oz, that's the characters from Dead Alive. What do we got for the plot of this masterpiece?
Our movie starts out on Skull Island, home of King Kong, in a post World War II setting, uh, whatever, late 50s, where we've got a zoologist and a team, and they're basically they've captured a Sumatran Rat-Monkey, which is which is a native creature. It happened because big old rats came over on the boats that would crash into Skull Island, and
Pirate ships, yarg!
right, and these rats raped the monkeys, and
Yep.
and that's where these rat monkeys came from, and they have and they were plague rats and et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. So
Yeah, and they only survive in stop motion.
that's yeah, right.
Yeah.
Claymation.
They are perpetually in stop motion.
Right, and so the team's captured one, and they're trying to get off the island quickly
Yes.
because the zoologist has a deal with the Wellington Zoo. He's basically capturing a rat monkey so he can put it on an exhibit. But the island's natives, who are, you know, whatever, you know, they're your Aboriginal tribe kind of thing. You know, they what was there's like Kamala from the WWF.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Very
With
reminiscent.
their loincloths and their painted faces, and it's
Yeah, a little racist.
a little bit, but
A little racist.
yeah. And so they're hunting them down with their spears and their bows and arrows, and they are like they're fighting them down, and they escape. The zoologist escapes with his team. His team's native-ish anyway, and he's complaining that he got bitten by the rat monkey.
Little bugger bit me.
Little bugger bit me. To which slam on the brakes, and we get our first Zengaya. He's like, what? You know, you've got the bite.
The bite.
It's like he went all like Dracula. So he's got a bite on his arm, to which they like pin him to the ground and like hack his hand off.
Yeah, this gigantic, like, it's not quite a machete. It's like a machete with like a 45-degree angle in it.
Yeah, it's almost like a machete / like scythe, like.
Yeah.
You know, and so they just chop his hand clean off.
Like one swoop.
So he's turning and looking at that, and they see he also got bit on the other arm. So hack that other arm off.
Yep.
To which then he's like screaming, of course, in agony because he just lost 2 appendages, and they see he's got a scratch on his forehead, and they lower it, and then we get our first like. We don't see him hit, but that's when the splat hits the screen and we get the title movie. Like that's what we're in for. It's just
that's the kind of movie that we're going to be reviewing here, folks.
And it's decent enough special effects, but like don't fool yourself. This was like you saw the hand get cut off, and there's like it's not bleeding. It's just you know, whatever. It's fun. So then we cut to the rest of this get the rat monkey to Wellington Zoo thing. You know, they take off with the monkey. We've got another guy that gets the monkey on a plane. He's one of the helpers. He gets the monkey on a plane. He's very excited. He's getting paid. We get your favorite miniatures.
Yep, I got the miniatures.
But they are like corny miniatures, like purpose like really, what was the purpose of the miniatures in this movie? I really, other than just scale, I suppose, because they had a real life plane, and they showed the real life plane take off, and then they cut to fake plane over fake clouds. You know, it's whatever. It's like you had everything you needed, just film it. So long story short, the rat monkey ends up in the Wellington Zoo. We meet Lionel. Lionel is a mother boy.
Yes, he
really
is.
No other way around it. He is.
He's what's his name from Arrested Development?
Yeah.
What can I think of?
It's Buster. He's Buster Blue.
Buster. Yeah. Yes. I was about to say like Tony Hale's character. Buster.
Yeah,
he's Buster Blue.
He's Mother Boy. And so he lives with his mom in this giant mansion, and she runs his life. I mean, just domineering. He's got no backbone. He's got no personal life. everything he does is to please his mom, who is just insane to begin with. Like,
just terrible person. Just
awful,
terrible.
like,
yeah, entitled and
slinging guilt trip after guilt trip at her son for having any original thought.
Controlling.
Yeah, pretends that she's sick just so he takes care of her. It's sad. We do throughout the movie, we get some flashbacks, but they aren't fully fleshed out flashbacks. Where Lionel, he when he tends to be like when he sees water or he spaces out, he sees this just ever evolving flashback of there's water involved somewhere, like underwater cam kind of going on, and it still bothers him. We also meet Paquita, who is the shop hand, like family owned shop in town. And she is I won't call her boy crazy, but she is, her biological clock is ticking, and she's wanting a man.
Yep, she's taking an interest. She flirts with was it like the delivery guy, I think, at one point, and Roger,
the delivery man. So she likes him. He's keen on her. Like, it's cute. Like, and it's fine. It's innocent. And so Grandma also works at the shop, and Grandma reads tarot cards. I think that's all she does. Like that.
That's it. She's in the back room reading tarot cards. Doesn't do readings for people. She's just back there reading cards.
She just loves them. Loves them. It's like in '92, it was like New Zealand's Pokemon. Pretty much what it was. Tarot.
Yep.
And so Paquita, she gets a reading, finds out that she's going to be in love. Like, it's all signs are pointed to you're going to fall in love. And she's like with Roger, and Grandma's like ticked off. No, it's not Roger. Like, stupid girl. And gives her a sign. There's like, you'll know when it's the right guy because you'll see this symbol. It's like a moon and a cross. You'll see this symbol. Well, as luck has it, Lionel's been sent to the store to pick up things for Mom because she can't do anything on her own. And I really enjoyed Paquita's performance here because she wants nothing to do with Lionel. Like, she's
she's just like almost offended by his presence.
Right. He's there to shop, and she's just so put off by it. But he is a klutz, and he knocks over the fruit, knocks over a stack of pencils and ribbons, and when he lifts his hands, it's that symbol.
Yep.
And so Paquita, who does a complete 180, and now she's got the hot music swells for us.
I love the music in these movies. Like, whatever, it's like one of these moments. Bum, 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 bum.
It's so like melodramatic and so it's great. And so she shows up to deliver some groceries, pretends she can't speak English. She tricks him into inviting her to the zoo. Lionel's never had interest from anybody in his life. And so, he agrees. He'll take her to the zoo. So they go to the zoo. Of course, we know the rat monkey's at the zoo.
Yep.
Mom follows him to the zoo. They're having a good time. She's really putting on a full court press on Lionel.
Yeah, she is.
Like,
well, I mean, she saw the sign.
She's seen it. It's in the cards. And so, but Mom sneaks in. Mom's there as well. And we see the rat monkey first. And the rat monkey is like in a cage next to another monkey. And of course, like you mentioned earlier, it's stop motion. Reaches through and like with one hit, like smacks this little like chin or this little chimp and just kills it. And then pulls it into its cage and eats it.
Yeah. Like pulls its arm off.
Oh first. And it's all like gooey and and it, the zookeeper,
poor little bugger.
Zookeeper he's got like a cigarette stapled to his lip.
Yeah.
He's basically knock that off. Vera then is kind of trying to spy on Lionel and Paquita. She backs into the cage. The rat monkey bites her in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And
then Gaia.
It's Gaia.
She's got the bite.
And then she then woe is me's. Like, Paquita comes to help her out. She just shoves her away.
Yeah, literally just pushes her.
Lionel,
take me home.
And so he's like, basically looks at Paquita like, well, see ya.
Doesn't even explain herself for being there.
No.
Like
And
you know, like
question it.
yeah.
He's that much of a pushover.
Yep.
We also find out that before all this, Vera has been chosen as a potential candidate for the Wellington Ladies Welfare League, the WLWL.
WLWL.
Which the Mathesons are going to come over and basically interview her to see if she's a fit. So this is all going to happen.
High society.
Yeah, this is this is all supposed to happen the day after she gets bit by the monkey.
Yeah.
So we're back at the Cosgroves. Vera's in bed, and it's just this whatever disease this rat monkey has is taking its toll. There is no rat monkey anymore either. Is the zookeeper or she like hits it with her purse and then stomps its head and like its eye bugs out.
Like drives her heel like through its head.
Yeah, it's like she's you don't mess with Vera Cosgrove.
No, you don't. She also calls Paquita experienced to Lionel.
It's true. She's experienced.
She's experienced.
So we come to the next morning. Vera's had a rough night. This curse, or not curse, but this plague or disease is taking its toll. And Lionel's kind of getting the house ready or whatever. And then the Mathesons are here.
Yep. They showed up
forgot
early.
They were coming. So Lionel's bandaged Mom's arm because it's really gross. Like, and like
here goes the Dr. Pimple Popper part.
Yeah, like she's got this where the monkey bit her. She's got this very opened wound.
Yeah,
like the skin is ripped away from it. It's very open, and there's something in there that is like reminiscent of like the little alien that comes out of John Hurt's chest in Alien. But it doesn't come all the way out. It's just like the crown of its head. Lionel's trying to like dab it with some sort of like antiseptic or whatever, and it just keeps dodging him. It's so weird, but he just bandages it up. The Mathesons come in, and this is really where the movie starts to take off.
Takes off, yeah.
It's just gore. Vera gets up and she's trying to get her makeup on or whatever, and she goes to like put on some makeup and just like literally just tears a flap of skin.
Yeah. It's like a piece of wrapping paper coming off a present.
It's just flapping there, and she just goes, oh. So Lionel, of course, in a hurry, Lionel just goes and gets some super glue and like dabs at it, and then like she's like trying to fight it, and he's like sits still or it won't go on straight. Like none of this has phased him. Nothing at all. The boy loves his mom.
Yeah, and then some.
And so gets that skin flap back in place. They go down. They host the Mathesons for a meal, and Vera is just dead on her feet. Basically.
She's in bad shape. She's in bad shape.
You know, she's in real rough shape. Thank you,
Nora.
You know, and the Matheson lady is like, we should be going. To which, you know, Mr. Matheson is like, let's eat.
Yeah, he's having a great old time.
Oh yeah, free food. Vera steals food off of Mrs. Matheson's plate, to which then Lionel thinks, this is normal, you guys have my beans. Like, it's fine. They're getting and Mrs. Matheson's like, I think we should go. You know, and then Mr. Matheson's like, we haven't even had pudding.
Yeah.
What? No pudding?
No pudding.
So then we get the most like there's not like even Lionel carrying out the 4 bowls. It's just gross. Like
like it's custard. You know,
that's all
like which is like a thick pudding, and it comes out, and of course it's just jiggling in the bowl.
Sound effects in it, it's just so like it's just
and it's on the heels. You already saw like pus squirt out of her arm at one point as well. So like like your mind is already there. It's like, oh, like this isn't gonna be good.
And so they sit down and he starts digging into the custard, and then Vera like Spider-Man's a gloop of pus into his bowl. Yeah. He doesn't notice it. Mrs. Matheson notices it. He just scoops it up and he's like, ooh, rich and creamy. I like it.
I haven't had a good custard in years. She never makes the stuff.
He's moving this custard around with his tongue.
Yeah.
Mrs. Matheson's about to just toss it. Like,
Yeah.
she is
Well,
so grossed out.
not like her husband just ate a big spoonful of pus.
Right. Meanwhile, the camera cuts over to Vera. Her right ear with earring falls off of her head.
Yeah.
Into her custard, to which then she spoons that up. And it's like, and you hear her like biting into the cartilage.
Yeah.
And she's, and oh, Matheson lady is, she's, how she didn't vomit, I don't know. Scene ends with Vera spitting her pearl earring out.
Yeah.
Paquita shows up with her dog, and Mom's in real bad shape, like real bad. Paquita shows up with the dog. Vera's upstairs. The dog takes off upstairs. We hear like a "Hurr?"
Yeah.
So Lionel takes off upstairs, and Mom is like backed up against like the bed on the floor with like a dog tail hanging out of her.
Yeah.
And instead of just that, we could have easily gotten the point across there. But then we got Lionel grabbing the tail and like removing the entire dog carcass. You can see her throat too.
Yeah, out of her mouth.
Right, he's pulling it out of her mouth, to which Paquita comes in. She's like, "Your mother ate my dog." And Lionel, well, not all of it.
Not all of it.
Look on the bright side, Paquita.
This movie is so amazing.
Oh, it's so great. So again, Paquita's like, whatever, he's like, I'm gonna call Nurse McTavish. We gotta
After
get
she
Mom
falls down the stairs.
Yeah, we gotta get Mom to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Paquita's trying to Paquita's trying to like get stuff around. The nurse shows up and she's like, "I'm sorry, Lionel, your mother's dead." Like, that's it. So Lionel obviously is crushed by this. So he's sitting there, Nurse McTavish is between them. Then we see Vera sit up and like takes and like grabs McTavish by the back of the head.
Uh-huh.
And like wedges her fingers into her skin.
Yeah, in her face.
Into her face. And she's like rattling around, rips her head backwards. It's now hinged back like a and she's just gurgling.
I love the sound. The sound effects in this movie are the best.
And so Vera's up now. Lionel's trying to fight Mother off without like hurting her. Paquita's still upstairs trying to find her toothbrush. Lionel's having conversations with her, like, "It's the blue one." Nurse McTavish comes back to life.
Yep.
And she, again, her head's on straight. Like, at one point, Lionel, like, whips, I don't know, something at her. It sticks on her forehead and knocks her head straight back.
Yeah.
Which then she
it goes back like 180 degrees.
Yeah. She then has to turn around to see him upside down backwards.
Yeah.
He ends up fighting both of them off by getting them to like fall down the basement stairs, and he locks the basement door. Paquita comes downstairs. Where'd they go? He's like, "Oh, he already took her to the hospital." Like, Paquita doesn't know Vera's dead.
She didn't see any of this. She was upstairs packing.
Right.
For the hospital.
And so, I'm all this is like, I haven't even followed my notes. I'm just boom.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got that. So, Paquita goes. Yeah, Lionel's given a pendant for good luck by Paquita's grandma. Yeah. So. Yeah. Paquita like stays the night. Yeah, that's what it was. Paquita stays the night. Lionel's totally like, "I'm not missing an opportunity to score."
Now that Mom's out of the picture.
Meanwhile, Grandma's still flipping over tarot cards, and it's nothing but like depression,
death,
it's all death and negativity. So she fears, because Lionel has obviously got some bad readings going on.
Mm-hmm.
Lionel goes to the shop. Grandma gives him a pendant for good luck. Vera breaks out of the basement. Lionel's he's gone to like a veterinarian for some tranquilizer already.
Yes, has a gigantic jar of tranquilizer labeled tranquilizer. So just in case you didn't get the picture.
He's got some tranquilizer. Vera breaks out, goes to the shop, but like gets hit by the train, which then like catapults her towards the shop. But Paquita thinks she's still alive at this point. So
yeah. Well, not anymore after the train hits her.
No, well, Lionel does inject her with the tranquilizer before she like comes to and attacks him. So now everybody thinks she's dead. So Vera, I mean, we're at a funeral now.
Yep.
Vera she's been embalmed. Like she's fully dead. Like, to everyone's knowledge. Lionel knows better though, so he goes to sneak backstage before they bring her body out to tranquilize her again.
Yep.
It turns out the Undertaker and the assistant like forgot to turn off the embalming fluid.
Yeah, so she's overflowing.
Oh my god, it's like ecto cooler coming out of every orifice in her poor woman's body.
McDonald's Shamrock Shake everywhere.
It's all over. And so he gets her tranquilized so that they can have the funeral. But of course, she comes to. And everybody like pities him because he finally gets her tranquilized as they're literally like fighting into like the parish hall.
Yeah,
and
her corpse tumbles in on top of him.
Everyone's just like, "Oh, Lionel!" Like they feel bad for him. Like poor boy, can't let his mother go. He's trying to keep the whole town safe, really.
Yes.
So he shows up because she's buried now.
Yeah.
So he goes to the graveyard to give her more tranquilizer. Like, how often is he going to plan on doing this?
Indefinitely. He's mama's boy. Even in death, she still has a hold on him.
True. Well, he runs into was it Void?
Yeah. Void and Shroot.
Yeah, and he runs into Void and his hoodlums, who they just assume he's a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Like, why are you hanging? Like, but then again, they're also hanging out in a cemetery after dark.
Yeah, but don't overthink it.
Power in numbers, I guess. You're by yourself. You must be a necrophiliac. So he's basically trying to avoid being bullied by these hoodlums. Vera busts out of her grave, kills them all.
Yes, she does. Well, first of all, Void decides to take a leak on her grave. So her hand busts out first and introduces herself to Void's nethers.
Right. And so he gets literally like tears, like his ribs are exposed. Like she's torn the flesh and muscle from his chest. Void is he's just wide open.
Yeah.
And dead. The rest of them are dead as well. Or run off or whatever. But Father Magruder, who led the procession, led the funeral. He comes out, and the hoodlums are all back as zombies now.
Mm-hmm.
And like Lionel has taken care of Vera, he's got her tranquilized, but Father Magruder has to fight off all of the zombies. But thankfully, what does Father Magruder do on the side?
Well, on the side, in addition to being a priest, as he declares, "I kick for the Lord."
For the Lord. And he continues to go Bruce Lee on all of these zombie hoodlums.
Yeah, it's just out of nowhere. He's doing all of these like martial arts kicks.
He's doing like eight standing kicks in a row.
Yeah.
At one point,
boop.
He like drops down to like sweep the leg and like knocks their legs clean off. Like they just drop as a torso to the ground. And, so he's beating them all up with no problem at all. But then he gets bitten. So now we've got Void and Father Magruder as zombies. And Lionel has to keep things under wraps, so he just takes them all home. So now Lionel is tending to Nurse McTavish, Vera, Void, and Father Magruder.
Mm-hmm. He can't bring himself to end them.
No. So he keeps them locked in the basement and takes care of them, really.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't attack him really either. Father Magruder has a thing for Nurse McTavish.
Yes, zombie Father Magruder.
Yes, zombie Magruder has he and Nurse McTavish copulate, and her gestation period is mere minutes, apparently.
Yep.
One of my favorite gags in the movie is Void can't figure out how to eat.
Yeah, he shoves the spoon through the back of his
So he's
head.
trying to eat whatever, and like you said, he jams the spoon all the way through the back of his head. So he's got like just the handle of the spoon sticking out of his mouth.
And he's so pathetic too. He's like, "Oh, what did I do wrong?"
He's sitting next to Vera, who then sees the food on the end of the spoon sticking out the back of his head. So she reaches over and grabs the food off the spoon, and he realizes it, and he just kind of goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be mine." Nurse McTavish has a zombie baby,
Yes, she does.
and it is a sight. Got a zombie baby. Lionel breaks up with Paquita because he's like, this is the only way I can keep her safe.
Yeah.
So he breaks up with her.
Well, and he's committed to taking care of his mother and the others.
I've got to take care of my mom.
That's his job.
Yep. So after breaking up with Paquita, he comes home and Uncle Les is there.
Uh-huh.
Uncle Les is disgusting.
Yes, he is.
Like,
He's more disgusting than the zombie.
That's what I was going to say. Out of all the disgusting characters we've seen in this movie, at least the disgusting ones are all dead until we see Uncle Les. Uncle Les is just a despicable human being. Basically, he's there because, well, my sister's dead. I get some of this.
Yeah.
Like, he's there because he knows Lionel's a pushover, and he's like, I'm here. I need some of this is due to me.
I'm getting in on this.
He discovers what he thinks are dead bodies in the basement. But of course, we know they're zombies. So he blackmails Lionel because I know about the bodies in the basement. I'll keep quiet, but you're going to give me the house and the inheritance.
Yep.
And I won't say Lionel agrees, but it's Uncle Les. He's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then he immediately invites all his friends over for a housewarming party. We're heading into Act 3 here.
Yeah.
At one point, and we're leaving out so much. If you haven't seen this movie, just watch it. It's
the baby in the park scene.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lionel, because there's a baby in the house, Lionel has to take the baby for a walk. Yep. So he takes the stroller, but there's like barbed wire mesh over top of it. Like he's trying to keep it caged in. And I love the bit where like the baby's being a pain, and so Lionel just like he's trying to like shake it, and then ends up just like smacking up against like
against the metal like pole of the swing set.
A couple ladies see him doing it and whatever, and I mean it's fun. It's a fun, very Looney Tunes type scene.
Yeah.
So we're back at the party. Like I said, we're in Act 3 now. We're at the party. Everybody's there. Like Uncle Les and all his friends are there. Paquita shows up to try to make up with Lionel. Like she really does care about him.
Yeah.
She discovers the zombies in the basement too, and Lionel explains to her everything that's been going on. She's just like poison him, just kill him. Yep. You know, and he can't do it. Like until he finally gives in. Like he's fine. Okay.
Well, he needs somebody to tell him what to do.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. He needed somebody to give him orders. So she's finally able to convince him to poison the zombies, to finally kill him. But he finds out that after he injects the zombies with it, he thought it was poison, but it's actually a stimulant, which like makes them like
super zombies.
Super zombies.
I'm pretty sure it was super soldier serum that he injected into them.
It was. What would have happened if it didn't go into old Steve?
Yeah. It's all a Hydra plot.
If Hydra was in New Zealand, it would have been this.
Yeah.
So these enhanced, like the stimulated zombies are now, they're just decimating everybody at the party in the most creatively gory ways possible. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, we could go on another 45 minutes just talking about all the ways. I mean, one woman literally gets her face ripped open for the baby
behind
through. Yeah. Another woman like gets like the back of her head impaled on like a lamp, like a light on the wall, and so like her eyes and mouth light up. You know, like she's
I think
like,
that was my favorite death. Just so
yeah,
creative how they did that.
yeah, she's like low pan out there with the lights coming out of her
Low pan.
eyes. But I mean, it's just there's so many of them. So Lionel and Paquita escape the zombies. Um, they all come reanimating. So now there's even more zombies.
So the
Like
entire
more
house is
survivors.
filled. Yeah, just filled with zombies.
More zombies. Lionel is he ends up outside the house. Paquita's in the kitchen. Paquita's taking zombie body parts and putting them into the blender. Like,
Yeah.
you can't come back to life if you're pureed, I guess.
Yeah.
Lionel comes busting it, and finally, for the first time in this movie, he's had enough.
Yeah.
And he's got a lawnmower strapped to his chest, blades pointing out, fires it up, and basically is just inviting zombies to come at him.
Yeah.
So that we can see them. They don't hide this. We see zombie body parts going into a live lawnmower blade,
Yep.
and just
Yep. I love the first pass he does. He runs right down the middle of them, and then it's kind of a first person point of view of like looking back.
Yeah.
And it's just a line, like he literally mowed a path.
Like he just
them.
mowed right through them. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively. Yeah.
Uncle Les goes down to the basement and gets beheaded by Vera, who apparently got the most stimulant. You know, she's like the head vampire in a way. Like, she's not just become super; she's become super sized. Like she is like gigantic now. She literally like erupts from the basement and chases Lionel and Paquita to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and she's like this massive. Like, was it her stomach that opened up? Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, yeah.
Her stomach opens up like flaps to invite Lionel back in because I'm your mother.
Back from whence you came.
Yeah, and so he does. He goes back in there, but of course, you know, he still has that that like amulet of.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Amulet.
Right, he's got something there. And the house catches on fire. Like it's like there's no way. Like it's the end.
Yeah,
like this is it. Vera gets him cornered on the roof. This is where Lionel reveals to Vera. I mentioned it earlier. Like there's been this slowly evolving flashback thing that Lionel's been processing. Well, he's finally unlocked it, and he reveals that he saw his mother drowned his father and the woman that was cheating with.
Yep, and father's mistress.
So, by coming to terms with that trauma, he's revealed, I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Yep. Finally.
Which really, like, you thought that, like in Nightmare on Elm Street, when Nancy says she's not afraid of Freddy, Freddy just loses all his power. But this is when Vera, like, opens up the flaps of her stomach and then swallows Lionel. Then she tries to kill Paquita. Lionel cuts his way out with that like pendant.
Yep.
Vera falls backwards into the burning house. Like Lionel and Paquita survive. The firemen show up. And what might be one of the grossest parts of the movie, Lionel and Paquita are just drenched in goop.
Yep. Not just blood. You're right. Goop. It's because again she was throwing all those body parts in the blender.
Yeah,
she's got zombie puree all over her.
I mean, they are just like there's not one clean inch of skin on their body, and then they like embrace in this big kiss, like, and it's romantic, and you're happy for them, but then you think for just a second, like, oh, like neither one of your, like you just came out of your mother's like zombified guts, and
maybe a little Clorox wipe first or something like that.
Even if you'd have gone, you didn't. You just
little Purell.
Oh, instead of puree. It was gross, and that's it. Like they leave, they're happy, they're together.
Yeah, that's it. Credits roll.
Lionel's finally broken free from his mother. And he can be with the woman he loves, and that is Dead Alive, episode
That's
100.
Dead Alive, one of our favorites, folks.
Oh, I love this movie. It's been a while since I'd seen it, but
Yeah.
I do love this movie.
At this point in the show, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about. Oz, how would you rate Dead Alive?
100 bowls of custard. Nice and creamy, just the way I like it.
She never mixed the stuff.
100 bowls of custard. So what do you give it?
I'm going with 300 liters of fake blood, because apparently that's how many liters of fake blood they used in the final scene.
It doesn't surprise me one bit.
That's a lot of fake blood.
You mentioned it earlier. They're like Lionel literally is running in place like Wile E. Coyote style. Yeah. Like because there's so much blood. It's good.
Yeah, what a fun movie.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks, next up we have Outside Insight. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Oz, what is your Outside Insight?
I have a 4.5-star review by Matt.
Oh, Matt. Okay, that Matt.
Well, he's got an exclamation point at the end, so...
Oh, okay.
Matt!
Matt!
He left this review May 26th of this year. It is a little lengthy, but I'll go quick, and I am going to change some of the foul language into something not so foul. He says, look, I'm not saying that Lord of the Rings trilogy was a step down for Peter Jackson, but tell me, did it have a stop-motion evil rat monkey, a lady eating her own ear, a dude gluing his mom's skin back onto her face, a record-setting number of off-kilter close-ups, a Nazi doctor selling industrial-grade tranquilizers, embalming a dead body to the point of explosion, a priest who's also a butt-kicking, arm-ripping kung fu master, zombies flirting, copulating, and giving birth, a maniacal zombie baby getting punched in the face and ragdolled for comedic effect, a creepy uncle with herpes, ripping a guy's entire intact rib cage from his torso, a severed hand picking a dude's nose, a punch that goes straight through the back of a lady's head and out her mouth, a running place gag due to the sheer amount of blood on the floor, a woman's head used as a lampshade, a collection of internal organs acting as its own entity. I forgot about that part.
Yep.
Playing pinball with half of a still living human head, a blender and a meat grinder being operated in highly non-standard fashion.
Yep.
Us, bloody goop, goopy blood, more pus, a lawnmower being used as a weapon of mass destruction, or the Rancor from Return of the Jedi, except with a fat butt and big old whatevers.
Yep.
Exactly. I rest my case. So Matt believes this Lord of the Rings was a step down for Peter Jackson.
Well, I guess it depends on perspective.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad we live in a world with both.
Yes. They both exist and are in their own ways are triumphs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so what do you have?
My outside insight, as always, comes from the Internet Movie Database. This is Theorin. I'm assuming that this is
Speaking of Lord of the Rings.
Yes, Theorin is there. Or this could be 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl champion and Bears announcer Tom Thayer.
I think
using a pseudonym.
It's probably the love child of Tom Thayer and Theoden.
There you go. Theoden.
Probably.
That's it, Theoden. Left in October of 2006. If you by the way, 1 out of 10 review.
Oh, okay.
If you loved Garbage Pail Kids trading cards, you'll probably think this film is absolutely hilarious. Things that the rest of the had the rest of the room chuckling and laughing had me ready to vomit all over Peter Jackson. I wish I could go back in time and destroy my friend's DVD so I wouldn't have been subjected to the comedy of this movie. The images disgusted me. The story was insulting to all but the lowest intelligence. The jokes made me want to weep for humanity sinking so low. Here's hoping that one person sees this review and avoids the film.
Sorry.
Theorin doing his public service announcement.
I guess. Sorry, King Theoden King. We watched it.
Sorry, number 57.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, Tom Theoden. All right, hey folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for, our 100th signature segment, Oz, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1, about the film in question, 1992's Dead Alive. Oz, my friend, what are your three goods?
My first good is the comedy.
Yep.
My second good is the romance. And my third good is the gore.
Just keeping it simple.
I mean, really, you can't, the movie is completely different if you remove any of those three pieces.
Yeah.
And it's just it's one like I'm looking forward to maybe getting my daughter to watch the rest of it. Like I told you pre-show, she wanted to know what we were watching, so I just showed her the custard scene, and she was like, "Oh, gross." I was like, "Oh," but I literally turned it off as Paquita was running upstairs when Lionel was about to pull the dog out of Mom's throat. Like I really wanted to, so I just explained that to her, and then my son is like, "Oh."
You should.
And my wife's over in the other chair just laughing because she's like, "It's a great movie."
You should, for like dessert tomorrow night, you should serve your daughter custard, and make sure it's vanilla. And when you walk in, make sure you're shaking the tray just enough so that it's like flopping around, and maybe put a little like red food coloring.
Put a little red food coloring in there, just
like a cherry, like a little bit of like pie filling, like cherry pie filling.
Yeah. Just stir it just a bit.
Just enough, not too much. Just enough.
I love this movie. What do you got?
Your dessert, honey? Oh my God, there's so many to pick from for this movie.
That's why I just kept it simple. I'm like, I can't narrow it down.
Yeah, I'll give a little more detail with my first one is the graveyard fight scene with Father Magruder.
Oh yeah,
it's so goofy, it's so stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like this guy's a legit like athlete here doing these things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, like the whole like you're hopping on one foot and just doing repeated kicks with the other one without ever lowering that leg.
Yeah. Whatever person they had doing it was doing it.
Yeah. And just some of the lines he was spouting out too, like, you know,
it was like this was the highlight of his life.
Yeah,
like, I've married people, but I've never gotten an opportunity to do this before.
Yeah, and this actor just, oh God, it just has so much fun with it.
Yeah,
yeah. Like, so that is my first one, is the graveyard fight scene, in particular, Father Magruder. Oh God, let's go with the second one. Again, there's so many to pick from here. I'm just gonna go with the sound effects in this movie, like the sound of the pus hitting the picture, the sound of the custard jiggling in the bowl, the gurgling sound when Nurse McTavish's head falls backwards.
Oh yeah, the sound design in this is it's just as effective as the visual gore.
Yes, the sound of his feet slipping on the parquet floor, like it's. The sound, I would argue, like, it's what sells this movie. You know, you know, Peter Jackson's directing and everything is great, but like the sound effects is what puts it over the top and makes it, I think, one for the ages.
Right.
And then, oh God, my last one. Let's just go with Timothy Balme's his physical performance as Lionel. You know, just this very bumbling character.
Oh yeah.
You know, zero confidence, not only like, you know, emotionally. And interpersonally, but also physically, he was just this kneebish character.
Yeah,
and you know how he like pulls with like his arms and legs are always close to his body, or whether he's slipping and sliding around, or trying to corral the baby in the park. The guy just sells this character so well.
Yeah, he was like a similar version of like George McFly. Like just pathetic, like top to bottom. But although I think you root for Lionel a little more because once you see it all, you realize it's more his mother than anything. Like, but it's still like you're right. He's just sad, just a sad human.
Yeah, but a fun performance from that actor.
Oh yeah.
All right, those are my three goods. Hey Oz, what are your two bads for Dead Alive?
My first bad is that Peter Jackson grew out of this type of filmmaking.
Sure.
And that's not a bad, because what he grew into was also amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but like we mentioned earlier, you got, you know, Meet the Feebles, and Bad Taste, and this movie, and it just clearly had the chops early in his career, that he knew what he was doing behind a camera. So it is great that he got to see that through with like the Lord of the Rings trilogy and other movies. He remade King Kong. And it was good. It's long, but it was good. So it is nice to see him like graduate to something that was worthy of his talent. But at the same time, like he left this behind. The closest we got to something this fun was probably The Frighteners, just because it was fun. But yeah, so that's my first bad, and again, it's
sure.
My second one isn't even movie related. It's the and I'm sure you noticed it too. The copy that we watched had this really annoying like secondary audio echo going on. So yeah, that's my second one. Is that double audio issue was tedious and annoying, and I've fixed that now. I've replaced that version with a separate version so that my digital file is no longer the double audio version. Thankfully,
it was double the fun.
Oh yeah, well,
I got to hear all the lines twice.
To go, even when they don't really fit. One thing I really enjoyed, and it wasn't movie related at all, was we watched the uncut version, and before they even drop the title or production team or whatever, we get like the Union Jack and Queen Victoria. It's like because I think partially this movie was financed by like the New Zealand Film Commission or whatever, and of course New Zealand was a British colony or is a British colony. I don't know enough about geography to know, but just seeing Queen Elizabeth and and the British national anthem, and it's like seeing all that of like how proud and proper they are, and then you watch this,
and then you have the Sumatran Rat-Monkey.
I know, it's like, oh, that's great. Like they'll throw that in front of anything. But no, that's my second one. It's just the stream I watched at this that double audio annoyance. So it wasn't even movie related because this movie is about as perfect as you can get. So
it's perfect to us, Oz.
No, it's as perfect as you can get.
No, you don't get it, man.
Right. So what are your two bads?
My two bads, I mentioned this one earlier. I'll throw it in again. The opening scene with that indigenous tribe is kind of racist.
Yeah.
They did the whole like
ooga, ooga.
Like the native islander thing,
right?
And like, you didn't need to do that.
No. And it's like I've seen movies, like contemporary movies, that do a native islander type of thing, but they're not so like comedic.
Yeah.
You've seen some where, it's like they are, it may not be fair to say that they're scary, but you could tell that that as natives, they're uncomfortable having outsiders in their presence.
Yeah.
Well, like I think Peter Jackson did it better with King Kong.
Sure. Yeah.
To where you didn't feel like you were watching a parody of these natives.
Yeah.
In this one, you did. It was like,
there wasn't a lot of dignity for those characters.
Let's go down to the costume store and find the cheapest bow and arrow and shield we can, and let's just slap some face paint on them and
put a hoop through somebody's nose.
Yeah, and let them make tribal sounds, and we'll get the point across. But Zengaya.
So that's my first bad.
Yeah, that's fitting.
Yeah, my second bad. The scene with like the Nazi vet or whatever. First of all, the scene itself was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But like, did you have to make the character a Nazi? Like,
right. Yeah, I agree.
I think this came up in another one we did recently. But like the Nazi as a joke thing works occasionally. Like the producers, it worked there. But like, you've got to, if you're going to use that as a punchline, like you've got to have a very deft comedic hand,
right?
And it just didn't work here,
right? Because it didn't add anything.
No,
it just like it wasn't even present until he ripped the sleeve of his lab coat.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, it's like he still could have had a giant vat of tranquilizer. He didn't have to be a Nazi to have it.
Yeah, exactly. So again, just if you're gonna have him steal, like, get tranquilizer, just have him break it and steal it. You don't have to do a Nazi bit.
Right.
So that's my second bad.
I gotcha.
Hey Oz, what's your one for Dead Alive?
Why does this movie work when it absolutely should not work?
Because it's so fun.
I agree. I'm glad it works.
So fun.
But you watch it and it's like the performances are fun, but like nobody is a good actor.
No, there's no good like actors.
No, so film. It's like there's not any good acting. There aren't any good jokes. Like there's really no reason why this movie should work, but it does. It's just the perfect storm of Peter Jackson and his creativity, and it just knocked it out of the park. So
yeah, it's so inventive and so silly.
Yeah, it's like it shouldn't work, but I'm glad it does.
It does, yeah.
So glad it does. So that's my What do you got?
My there's a couple here. I'm just gonna go with how many horsepowers is in that mower?
All of them.
All the horsepowers. They were all there.
Every Mustang and steed in New Zealand.
Yes, they're all. In fact, it was Theoden's horses. It was the Rohirrim.
I was going to say it was the Riders of Rohan.
It was Rohan's horses that were powering that mower.
Rohan's yard service.
Rohan's yard service.
It was a Rohanian mower.
Oh, is that a Rohan you got there, Jim?
You ever had a John Deere? No, you ever had a Rohan?
Rohan, ooh.
You know, all Tim Toolman Taylor when you hear that.
Yeah. You start it up and it's like hearing 5,000 horses all charge at once across the plains of Gondor.
The grass just falls over when you start it. In terror.
All the horsepowers are in that mower. All right, hey my friend, that was 100 episodes.
We did it.
We did it. Now we'll, this is where YouTube's algorithm really takes over, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Well, we're not going to stop regardless.
No.
So, new month next week.
New month.
We kick off October.
Yes, we do.
Which is the month of Samhain. I don't know. All Hallows Eve. Spooktober.
It's the spookiest of months, folks.
Oh, it is. It's a creep fest. So
we're going to celebrate that. Yeah.
Or if you don't, just drink a ton of German beer.
Yes, that's the other thing you can do.
You're right. We could have gone with horror films, or just a lot of beer drinking. So yeah, it's Oktoberfest.
We're going to cover Beer Fest for all 4 weeks.
All 4. We're actually going to take the movie. We're going to dissect it into quarters, and we're just going to cover the whole movie in depth.
Because if there's any movie that needs that degree of scrutiny, it's Beer Fest.
It's a Broken Lizard production.
Yep. Known for their deep thinking.
Yeah, like when was the last time you peeled back the onion of Super Troopers? Let's really get under the hood and see what this is about.
Of Club Dread.
I like Club Dread.
I think I've only seen it one time, and I
Bill Paxton's in it, and Bill Paxton is basically playing Jimmy Buffett, but in the most anti-Jimmy Buffett way, and I love him for that.
Well, it's Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I love Bill Paxton. No, we're back for October, and October, like we did mention, scary movie month. So we are going to lean into that theme a little bit.
Yes, we are.
What's our theme next month?
Next month's theme, Oz, is Stephen King books. So Stephen King adaptations. What?
We're just going to read to him next month. We're not watching movies.
We're actually just going to play an audiobook while we just stare blankly into the camera.
And nod if we agree and shake if we don't.
Oh yeah, Salem's Lot. Yep.
Good one. No, I don't know how we're going to do it, but yeah, we're going to read Stephen King novels and discuss them. So next week we'll be back with The Stand. We're going to read all 1,100 pages of it next week.
All of them.
No, Stephen King adaptations, like you said.
Stephen King adaptations, yes.
And you've got the first week, so what do you got?
I do, and it's a movie I've never seen before.
I've seen it once or twice, but it'd be like a new movie.
And at the time of this recording, I did already watch it, and I was pleasantly surprised and kind of kicking myself. Why have I not watched this movie before? It's pretty fun.
Good.
It's got some flaws, but overall very fun. The Dead Zone.
Yeah.
1983's Christopher Walken. The Dead Zone.
Cronenberg direct that?
David Cronenberg directed it. Stephen King adaptation. Yep.
So Stephen King, David Cronenberg, and Christopher Walken all walk into a bar.
Yeah, but yeah, good movie. I'm excited to talk about it with you next week.
Yeah, and like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm excited for it as well. Yeah, Dead Zone. It has. It's been a long time. I think is Martin Sheen in that movie?
Martin Sheen is in the movie, only in the last third. It's kind of like 3 short stories. That's how the act structure is in the film.
Which is not far off for how Stephen King does some of his writing.
Again, very Stephen King-ish. Yeah.
So, fair enough. Yeah, so that's it for oxymoronic titles, guys. There were a lot left on the floor that we could have done. We just didn't. So, that's it. But yeah, so we will be back next week with Stephen King movies to kick off October. Just a 4-weeker. We just got 4 Wednesdays, so we got 4 fun fest coming at you. A little bit, honestly, a solid month. A little bit all over the place.
Yeah,
but it's Stephen
It'll
King.
Be fun, though.
All over the place. And all really looking at it, all older stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all 80s, maybe early 90s for one, but we're not covering anything new, which is solid because there's a lot new. I mean, the dude writes so much that they're still pumping out adaptations of books he wrote 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we will be back next week to kick off Stephen King month. Social media wise, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is where you can find us. Patreon link down below if you're interested in chipping in. You wanted to see how the first 100 episodes went before you committed. So here you go.
Before you took the deep dive.
Right. I'll listen. I'll listen to 120 hours of these guys talk, but they're not getting my $3 a month. I need to make sure they're worth it.
Let alone my YouTube channel subscription.
Right. You can watch The Dead Zone on Amazon Prime Video. If you got Amazon Prime, you can stream Dead Zone there. You can rent it on Apple TV for $3.99. So that's where you can catch The Dead Zone if you'd like to keep up with us. But no, that's it. Hey, it's been a pleasure sharing the last 100 weeks with you. Obviously we've been bantering like this for the majority of our lives.
Yes, more than half of our lives we've been exchanging the witty banter.
25 years now.
Yeah,
we've been playing second fiddle to each other.
Yeah, 100 episodes in 25 years.
That's right. And it all started in college and transferred basically this into a late teens, early 20s radio show.
A highly successful radio show.
Yeah, we played music from the late teens, early 20s, is what we're talking about.
a lot of big band.
Capped out ladies sing this song.
Doodar.
It was great.
A lot of capped out ladies.
Yeah, a lot. We had to play top 40 stuff. So.
Yeah. It was the Fat Boy Slim Super Mega Mix of Capped Out Ladies.
Yeah, we played auto-tuned Capped Out Ladies. But no, it's been a ride, and I'm glad that you agreed to do this with me, and I'm glad that we're still doing this, and I'm glad we're going to continue doing this because it brings a lot of joy to my life, and I hope it brings a lot of joy to yours and you out there in streaming land. So
yes.
But no, let's do that. Let's do another 100. How's that sound?
Let's do another 100. I've seen your 100, and I call you another 100.
I like it. All
That's how poker works, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We're kicking off episode 101.
Triple digits.
That's right. We've hit that first century mark. So join us next week when we cover the Dead Zone. Social media I mentioned below. And for Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you guys next week.